Okay, perfect. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, to find some time for joining to this interesting webinar, which is actually is not a real webinar; it's a case study, and it will be held by three players here: Nine Dot, as a vendor of equipment, Winncom as a distributor, our distributor in US and other sites worldwide, and of course the special guest today, which is Rise Broadband, the biggest internet service provider in the US market. So the event will be recorded, and you will find the video of this webinar on our social channels in the next days. You will be able to type on the chat any kind of questions you might have. Beside myself, there will be Alessandro Campanella, who is the CTO of Nine Dot, and for any technical request, you can refer to him. But the purpose of this webinar today is just to share some information that Rise Broadband found out using our Nine Dots equipment. So this will be the main reason. But of course, if you have any technical questions, feel free to raise them to us, and we will be more than happy to answer to your questions. I leave the word to Ziad, sales account of Winncom Technologies, that will introduce Winncom, our distributor in the US. Thank you.
Thank you, Ricardo. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining our webinar today. Special thanks to our partners, Rise Broadband and Nine Dot. My name is Ziad Antoun. I'm the sales manager for the Western region here at Winncom Technologies. For those of you who are not familiar with Winncom, I'll be doing a brief overview of our company and what we do, what we offer, and products and services and whatnot. Winncom is a privately owned company founded in 1996. We're a global distribution firm, and we have offices all over the world and warehouses. We're headquartered here in Stozel, Ohio, which is right outside of Cleveland. Winncom is currently one of the largest value-added distributors of telecom equipment of any sort, really, wired, wireless, in the world, that is, and especially in the US. We are a direct distributor for over 80 vendors, all handpicked from some of the biggest names in the world and industry. We can really touch every aspect of a network, from power equipment to towers, cabling, wireless broadband equipment, network management, and monitoring, and so on. We also offer all types of network solutions like LTE, CBRS, licensed and unlicensed point-to-point, point-to-multi-point solutions, DAS, Wi-Fi, etc. We currently have over 3,000 actively buying customers, and we have over 250 employees to help support the workload. We have a especially large team of engineers. I believe the number has now exceeded 40 engineers globally, which really tells you that we're not just here to ship boxes and fulfill orders. We put a lot of effort and resources into pre-sale and post-sale support, which is something I'm personally proud of. Our engineers also are certified trainers in most of our product lines, and they do offer in-person or online certification classes and all kinds of training classes. Next slide, please, Dan. Not sure if you're seeing the world map there. I'm not seeing anything on my end here, but as you can see, we are, as I mentioned previously, we're a global distributor. You can see that we cover a large chunk of the world map there. We have offices everywhere from in Europe, in Russia, and Africa, and Middle East. Our headquarters in the U.S. is in Solon. This is where our main warehouse is, and we have another warehouse in the U.S. that is down in Miami. I don't believe it shows on the map, but it's down in Miami. Warehouse in Miami supports our CALA region, and it helps with the U.S. market as well. Next slide, please. This is our sales map. I'll go over the Americas sales map for now. As you can see in purple, we'll start there with our Southeast region. We have Bryan and Victoria. In blue, we have our Great Lakes region covered by Christian Feder, who's our newest addition to the team, and Chris Zurowski. In red, our Northeast team, Ryan and Kelly. In the dark green, which is the Central States and Canada, are covered by Eugene, Daria, Christine, and Kevin. And then in the light green, that's the Western region, and that's covered by myself, Elena, and Jamie. And that's the Western region, including Alaska and Hawaii. The orange there is our CALA region, covered by Santiago, Christian, Jorge, Laura, Carlos, and Alejandro. Everyone on this list is industry professional and happy to help. We work with all different vertical markets, service providers, government, healthcare, educational, oil and gas, anything really. So if you're looking for a new supplier, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, to your dedicated sales rep on this map. And with this, I'd like to turn this presentation over to Dan Soles. Dan is one of our engineers, and he'll go in a little more details on engineering and professional services. Dan?
Thanks, Ziad. Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, so I guess the screens are showing up multiple different ways, or multiple different screens on the same screen. So give me 1 second. I'm going to try to fix that. And it doesn't look like it's changing. Yeah, so we'll go over the engineering, what the engineering group does. Yeah, like Ziad said, we have about 40 worldwide engineers to support our customers. In the United States, we have 10. So we're very well staffed. We have a couple in CALA as well, as Ziad was going through the map, and then the rest of them are placed throughout the rest of the world. Globally, the nice thing about having engineers that work globally is that we get experience with all different areas, all different customers, different locations, different technologies that we may not have in the U.S. that's readily available. We may be working with them overseas currently. So it keeps us very busy and very educated on the current technologies. With the consulting services, we work with large telecommunication companies, whether it's doing DAS, wireless broadband, fiber applications. So we pretty much touch it all out there. And then with the whole services, well, we do the complete solution. We can do audits on networks. We can help customers select the best products for their project. We have some custom accessories that we build in-house for breakout boxes and fiber applications, DC power, surge arresters for when we're deploying on towers. We do project management on large projects overseas and in the United States. We go on site and do performance acceptance testing, whether it's point-to-point, point-to-multipoint, or STAS. Like Ziad said, we have several certified trainers. We also have a couple of CPIs for the CBRS band on staff. So when we're looking at it, whether it's complete wireless or wired networks, we can do the full design. We use ATOL, path loss, link planner, RF planner, all the different RF modeling tools out there we have. We've gone on site and done site surveys to verify that the frequencies are usable for customers. Generate bill of materials from it after we do the analysis. As we go through the rest of the slides, I'll talk about pre-configurations. Here we go. So on the pre-configuration side, we'll do staging. We can actually take the equipment that you order and go through and make sure it has the most current software, the specifications that you require on it, IP addresses, VLANs, all the things you need. We'll actually go ahead and mock the radios up and actually get them to talk to each other. So when you have people on the towers, they're taking the equipment that's been labeled and pre-configured and putting it up and aligning and getting them installed, and they're ready to go. Makes it so much faster on really large build-outs. With the kitting and pre-configuration portion, we'll actually do the labeling. So we'll label the sites, so when it shows up at your doorstep, you know exactly where each crate is going to go. It'll be labeled. Everything will be IP'd. You'll have a sheet that you can go out and give to your installers, and they will go through and just put the equipment up. And from that, I will hand it over to Ricardo.
Yes, here I am. Okay, so for myself, thank you, Alessandro. Okay, from myself, very briefly, I would like to introduce 9dot as a company. We are 100% Italian company. What it means 100% Italian company? It means that we have 10 plus years experience in design and production of TLC equipment. Our HQ is located in Pisa. For most of you have been in Italy, you know where is the pending tower, we say. The R&D is close to Venice, and our manufacture, the production itself, is in center of Italy, between Florence and I can't remember now the name of this. It's a small city anyway. It's called Cortona. And just to tell you that we are 100% Italian company. What it means 100% Italian company? That we are researching all the time for high quality standards, and everything is coming out from our factory is 100% under an internal, very strict quality control process. Mainly, we are manufacturing two families of products. One is the sync injectors. Well, we'll ask in a minute to Evan Stozel from Rise Broadband a few comments on that product. And the second one is based on active power station. So I give you just very briefly a few details on sync injectors. Usually the main problems we all face in tower installations are isolation enemies, it's called. So we can find on a tower the word from a radio point of view, from IT point of view, from whatever point of view. So hybrid systems, PoE switches, power station, and so on can be very noisy each other for the products are installed on the towers, on the sites working for our networks. So you can have minus 48 volt positive to ground, 48 negative to ground. Everything is concentrated on the ground. So this can have a big effect on our equipment. Polarity interruption, only one wire interruption. Sorry, let's do like that. Okay. So I would say polarity interruption can occur, short circuits, and other kind of problems that everyone connected to this webinar knows probably very well.
Ricardo, sorry, go back
yes.
to the previous visualization method because it's all white now.
Okay, sorry. Can you see it now? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Apologize. Anyway. Okay, let's do like that. Okay. So the GigaSync, which is the synchronization injector, the power injector, is 100% fully compliance with Cambium world. What it means 100% fully compliance? We have the patent for that, and our products are working with the new product of Cambium networks, but also with a canopy version of Cambium products. So we are 100% compliance on Cambium world. We got the patent from Cambium, so the synchronization protocol is fitting 100% with our equipment. We are actually born for replace an equipment from Cambium networks that was a little bit annoying to many huge customers worldwide. But let me remark something very important. We don't want to sell or replace only Cambium devices like CMM or whatever. You have to think about us like a power solution company. So that means with our device, especially with the GigaSync, we can feed, of course, Cambiums, but also any kind of radios equipment like Ceragon, like CI, like Intracom, and so on, plus any device working on Power over Ethernet protocol, because we are compliance with any kind of PoE protocol. Doesn't matter if it's A, B, X, or whatever, we are working with that one. So think about the GigaSync as a solution, a unique solution for multiple vendors. So you don't have to have any more on your sites many different power injector, but you can have one single device with a lot of benefits that I will show you in a minute. So usually the typical installation on a site is like that. And I think Evan from Rise Broadband, it can confirm what I'm showing you. So you have several devices all together connected on a router or on a switch in the middle, and you can have video surveillance, or you can have other PoE devices, Cambium 450M, Cambium 450, or whatever. Okay. So with this version, you can have one single unit to feed up whatever you need to feed up. So this is the GigaSync. You have 3 different cartridges that you can have Power over Ethernet output, of course, as mentioned. Plus, you can see the green connectors to feed up other kind of devices that are not PoE standard, PoE compliance. I'm thinking about the Medusa from Cambium 3.5, which is not PoE. Then you can feed up them with these green connectors. And the amazing solution of the GigaSync is that it doesn't matter if one single cartridge is going down, you can make the hot swap, and you can in any time make some operation on the device without switching off the whole system. But I will tell you something more in a minute. So the GigaSync installation is like that. So mainly you have, again, green connectors for non-PoE devices, and Cambium 400M 48 volt PoE, or Cambium 450 with the 29 volt PoE, or again, any PoE devices like microwave radio, video surveillance, and so on. So here how it looks, the PoE cartridge in details. You can see on the left side the 9-dot key connectors. If you are familiar with other devices, you know that if you are feeding the polarity of power over Ethernet, like Ubiquiti or Mikrotik or any other kind of device, usually you have to manually switch the jumpers to match the right PoE output. With our solution, you have some small keys, I will show you in these slides, that are already preset for Ubiquiti, Mikrotik, CIA, Cambium, or whatever it takes, Canopy or Cambium, and so on. And you have just to plug in or plug out the key. So it's very safe, very reliable, and you don't have to get mad to match the right polarity that you're looking for. This is how it looks, the terminal cartridge, so the green connectors. As you can see, it's like the others, just have a different purpose. And there is also a light sync version of the full device. The one that you have just saw was the full version. So you have 3 different cartridges. And by the way, going back to this picture, you can pay as you grow. You can buy the empty chassis and add 1 single cartridge as much as you need. So think about starting from a small site, coming to a very big site. You have a lot of options in this version. So it's also very scalable and fit the use you have to do. The light sync version has only 2 gigabit PoE Ethernet port, and is also Cambium sync and GPS sync. That's not a problem, but of course it's not upgradable, and it's like that. We have just a new system, which is revert of power over Ethernet. So you have to put it before the GigaSync in order to get the high power and transform it to the low power in order to feed devices you need to feed. So it's called Encore, and even here is scalable. You have 2,400 watt input, 800 watt each port, as you can see. You can have variable output on ADJ out modules, so you can select 12 or 29 or other kind of voltage. Plus, you can charge batteries and so on if you need for that purpose. Of course, there is a light version of the Encore as well. These applications are very common in utilities, oil and gas, electricity, municipalities, and so on. And the light version has only 1,600 watt, and of course, like the GigaSync, light version is not scalable, is not upgradable. This is the web interface of the Encore, so you can monitoring all the kind of parameters and knowing all the time what is happening in your system. The same thing for the GigaSync. They are all, our products are all 100% manageable from remote. So you are saving time and money because you don't have to send anyone anymore to the site before knowing what happens in your site. So this is the key message that I wanted to share with you, and I want that you bring it at home this evening. So I will leave the word to Evan that has a few minutes just to present Rise Broadband, unless nobody knows who is a Rise Broadband in the US market, but I'm sure everyone connected today is aware on who is Rise Broadband. But please, Evan, welcome to the webinar, and please introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Ricardo. So my name is Evan Stozel. I am the wireless architecture manager at Rise Broadband. So myself and my team are responsible for vetting new equipment that's moving into the network, primarily on the wireless side, but also, power equipment, that kind of thing. More of like a central research and development role. I work for Rise Broadband, which, as Ricardo mentioned, we're the largest WISP in North America, or not North America, in the US, I believe. And, we span most of the central United States, as well as, some of the Western states and, like Illinois on the Eastern side a little bit. We have a large network, lots of really diverse types of equipment, lots of legacy equipment, lots of new equipment. So, yeah, we have a lot of experience with all things WISP.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Evan, I have a few questions to Rise to you.
Yeah.
And you can answer in as you want, let's say. If you cannot say anything because it's a secret, don't worry about it. Well, first of all, before using 9-dot products, which was the struggling situation you were facing in your network?
Yeah, I think that the hardest situation is towers that have a lot of legacy equipment as well as a lot of newer equipment. As you guys know, technology changes quite a bit over time. So, a tower that may still support some Cambium PMP 100 subscribers and also has, a 450 Medusa on it, as well as several different kinds of backhauls and all of that kind of thing. Just made for a real mess in the cabinet. There's, as Ricardo showed earlier in the presentation, kind of that situation where you got a, CMM4, a CMM5. Actually, I thought that was, not even our worst situation. A lot of our cabinets are like CMM2, CMM4, CMM5, individual power supplies, kind of a mess. So, the 9-dot gave us the opportunity to really consolidate that equipment with the GigaSync and be much more efficient in how we're powering our equipment. So that's been a really, really good experience.
Okay, thank you. Yes, actually, if everyone has been in a cabinet in a site, it's always a mess. Yeah. Because a lot of equipment. I think it's a common situation for everyone. Mm-hmm. The second question is a little bit 9-dot oriented, of course, because what's led you to search for products like 9-dot? What was the highlights in your mind that say this can be the product that will solve our situation?
Yeah, so I guess the story for me kind of starts when I first joined Rise Broadband about 3 years ago, and I saw one of our cabinets for the first time, and it had a lot of individual like AC to DC power supplies, and I looked at that and I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this. So that's always kind of been in the back of my mind. And then about 6 months ago or so, one of our field people reached out to me and got some kind of, advertising, mentioning 9-dot, and he investigated it himself and was like, what do you think about this? And I was like, wow, this is exactly what, we've been looking for to solve this problem. So, I'd say that it's always been a problem that's been in the back of my mind, but one that, not until recently we found a good solution for. So.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much for sharing this. Alessandro, if you wanted to join us with some comments, just feel free to get into the conversation.
I will.
Okay, thank you very much. Could you please give us some key points on how you have made use of 9-dot products? You know, it's called the wow factor. When you started to put your hands on the device, the wow you say on our products.
Yeah, so the product we have the most experience with is the GigaSync. And I think that the biggest wow factor was just the ability to support such a diverse set of equipment. You know, not only access layer equipment, but backhaul equipment. You know, we have many sites that have 820Cs as well as like Dragon Wave equipment, 820Ss, and you know, all of those kind of had a different sort of formula for their PoE. And you know, just our ability to reduce the amount of cabinet space all that was taking and put it into the GigaSync was probably the biggest impact. And in one specific situation, it enabled us to not have to upgrade a cabinet to a larger size. I believe we were like a 36-inch cabinet, and you know, the choice was either go to like a 50-inch cabinet or, you know, consolidate with the GigaSync, and that made so much more sense. So, and that's been up and running for, you know, pretty much the whole summer, and you know, we've been really impressed with the reliability and everything else that you know, it takes to survive a hot Texas summer. You know, some equipment's deployed.
You told me in an email about the Texas summer, so I think that will be the benchmark. We can call our customers in Dubai and say, "Don't worry, it's working. It's working in the Texas summer, so don't be afraid to use it in the desert."
Oh yeah, that's right.
I never been to Texas, but it sounds it's very hot there.
Yeah,
in
it
the
can be
summer.
for sure.
Yeah, and then especially I saw that in the Death Valley this year was the hottest summer ever, if I'm not wrong. I saw it in the news on the internet. They registered the highest temperature in the history. So it might be a very hot summer. And glad to hear that you didn't have any trouble with our equipment. So
Yeah.
happy.
Yep. Not at all.
Happy about that. And by the way, you mentioned Dragon Waves, which I forgot to mention because, as you said, there are so many manufacturers of radio equipments, and it's a really mess when you figure out, because maybe you bought a few radio link there, a few radio links there, and you are getting in a point that you need to make some space for new technologies and so on, but you cannot leave behind the existing one. So yes, I think you describe a very important scenario that it's a common problem in everyday's life probably.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. Can you give us the 3 best benefits they brought in your network and your daily work with using 9-dot equipment?
Yeah, so I think, you know, as we've talked about, number one is just being able to consolidate equipment. You know, that's probably the most important. Next is, you know, modularity. I think, you know, the ability to, you know, in a 1U unit support, you know, anything from 4 devices to 12, you know, if you have 1 or 3 cartridges. And then, you know, it's also really easy if you need additional to, you know, add another GigaSync. So, you know, it's really modular, and it's really easy for us to standardize on, because, you know, that it's a piece of equipment we can give to the field and, you know, say, hey, this will work with anything, you know, get good at using this, not like get good at learning all the combinations of power equipment that you might need to support something. So, and then third would probably be remote management. You know, that's very important, the ability to, you know, remotely power cycle equipment and have that really strong reporting ability as well. We monitor our whole network with SNMP. So, the fact that 9 supports SNMP is also something that's very important to us. And, as Ricardo kind of mentioned, we were sharing some information a couple months ago about, how the gear was performing in the heat. All that was recorded with our, SNMP system. And, so that has been a big plus as well. Easy integration to our existing systems.
Okay, no, that's great. It's exactly the key selling point we are sharing with our distributors and partners. Last question actually. So you did very well so far. So
all right.
I believe we're not some weird question or.
No. This is perfectly fine.
Okay, perfect. Which kind of benefits do you see on a long-term vision of how your network and its performances will change now with this kind of device?
Yeah, I think that one of our biggest, if not our largest, cause of customer disruption is due to failure at the power unit side. This is not with 9 equipment at this point, just our legacy equipment. We found that it hasn't been as reliable as we'd like. So again, our experience with 9 is still pretty early. So we haven't personally experienced what it looks like for a GigaSync to be running for 5 years or whatever. But so far we've been very optimistic about the reliability of the product and the support we've received. So I think that the long-term impact as we deploy more 9 equipment in the network is a higher level of reliability for our network and our customers. I have a lot of field people reaching out to me right now, asking like, how do I'm tired of going out and replacing power equipment that seems to have died. I want something that is gonna be supported for a long time. So I think that's a huge opportunity for us and a huge opportunity to improve the experience for our customers.
No, thank you very much for this answer. It was very useful, I guess. And it's exactly the feedback we have from other sides of the world. And this is why we do what we do, because we are sick and tired to see customers are wasting time and money to replace PoE power injector in any situation. I just wanted to share with the people who is watching and listening to us that there is an alter ego of Rise Broadband in Italy because it's the biggest internet service provider in Europe, which is called Eolo. And Eolo is a consolidated customer for us for almost 3 years. And they are buying 2,000 devices every year. So this is for Evan to be quiet, don't be afraid, because it's a longer-term product and very reliable. Our RMA procedure is very close to 0. So we are very, very proud of that. And plus, as Evan told, we are very fast in response when there is any kind of problem or a specific request from our customers. So
I want to thank Ivan for this mention, of course, because he mentioned we were very fast in reply their emails and solve some of their problem and integrate with some feature. So I'm so happy to hear this from him. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, it's something worth noting because not every manufacturer is like that. And as someone that deals with OEMs quite often, it's something I really appreciate.
Yeah, and if someone is asking to himself how much does it cost, the products, I wanted to take the chance to say that it's very cheap, because I believe you realize the value behind the product. When you save time and money, it might be a little bit expensive compared to something else, but the question is, does the other products do what we do? And usually the answer is no. Otherwise, we'll be not choose our devices as such important networks like Rise Broadband. Evan, you did beautifully. So thank you very much for your answers. I think we cover all the question from my side, and I'm open if there are any other questions from the audience connected right now. Alessandro, can you check for me, please, the chat if we have some questions?
If someone wants to ask something to us, or even, you're welcome.
Okay.
Time for question now.
Yes, if you have any question to 9dot from sales point of view, technical point of view, or for even from the experience point of view, the real experience point of view, or for Winncom as a distributor, please feel free to make it. Okay.
I have a question for Evan regarding the Encore. Are you thinking about using lithium batteries or lead acid batteries? What do you prefer in your site?
At this point, we're using lead acid batteries primarily. We're open to lithium. I think that the cost is a little bit of an issue there. But we think that we can get a lot more out of our lead acid systems with 9dot, because as we've discussed, your Encore has some intelligent things it's doing to make sure that the charge curve and all that stuff on the batteries is correct, which admittedly is an area we could make improvement as far as making sure our batteries are conditioned properly.
And do you see even application for the Encore? Because this for us, as you know, is a very brand new product, very high potential. On the other side, we are still want feedback from the field to understand the future in a long-term vision. I know you already saw something about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're definitely interested in the Encore, mainly because it combines the function of a UPS and a DC distribution in one unit. So that provides a lot of the same value that we see in the GigaSync, to reduce cabinet space, reduce equipment, reduce points of failure, that kind of thing. So yeah, we're excited to get our hands on it and try it out. Both the Encore and the Encore Lite, I think, have applications in our network, depending on the size of the site and all that stuff.
Perfect. I have a technical question for me. What is the maximum sustained current that can be sourced by a GigaSync voltage distribution card? The GigaSync can support up to 3 amps each port. It means 150 watts each PoE port. It's almost every kind of device powerable with this device. It's up to 4, so it's up to 12 amps each cartridge, and maximum for 36 amps globally for the whole system. So as much as you need, I think.
Okay. Something else?
No other question.
Yeah.
Coming.
I have a question for Evan. Going back to the opportunity with GigaSync to save time and have more reliability. Can you go a little bit deeper? When did you realize that in terms of saving, time, people, because you, as far as I know, you don't have to send any more people on the sites. When did you realize that was a really cost saving? And for cost saving, speech brackets, I mean, in terms of people and time. I'm not talking about money because it's not the real value.
And customer satisfaction.
And customer satisfaction, yes.
Yeah, of course. The way that the GigaSync was used in our network was a little bit interesting because it was initiated by our field team, which is typically like my team are the ones that vet new products. We tell the field, hey, like this is what you guys should use. But one of our field guys really took the initiative to say, hey, I think this will work in my part of the network. Let's try it. So in a way, that kind of got to fast track our experience quite a bit because I basically told him, like, at the time I didn't know much about 9-dot, but I was like, it looks good, just keep me in the loop and we'll see what happens. So he got the GigaSync, was able to figure it out, set it all up without really any help from my team, which is pretty unusual for a new product. And he went out, put it in the cabinet, got it set up all on his own, and it's working great. So to see that value right away was, in many perspectives, great because, it gave me confidence that my field team can pick it up and they can understand it and use it, right away out of the box, basically. So that was really, a great, value point. And then, the fact that, I get feedback from the field all the time that specific pieces of equipment fail often. And they're just looking for something that's more reliable. So as the field person that understands all this equipment that's having problems, he was able to replace it with the GigaSync, and since then solved those problems, and that was 6 months or so ago. So I think that it was just really pretty cool to see how the field picked it up right away and they were able to see the value in it, because that's often not how it works when you're working with new products.
Yeah, I appreciate the answers. Thank you very much, Evan.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we're done. If there are not any more questions,
No.
we are just waiting for orders, and because I believe everyone will be following Rise Broadband now. It can be, yes, because you are a point of reference in the WISP markets. So. And we already seen in Italy that when Eolo is starting using a new technology, all the other ISPs are following the big whale, let's say.
Yeah.
So
I have a question. Have you guys thought about attending WISPApalooza? Which is our big North American WISP convention. I'm not really sure what it looks like this year with COVID and everything, but I think that in the future, you guys should consider attending that and getting a booth, because I think it'd be great for everyone to get their hands on it.
Yeah, we have some details. We've been last year, and it was our first year there. It was very interesting. And with Winncom, we found out that there will be the WISPApalooza this year, but a small version of the original one. We will be there with some, of course, equipments and so on, but not in presence this year, probably. We were also ready to join WISP America, but of course, the situation stopped us to join us. So hopefully for the 2021 will be the year to going back to make some road shows pretty much all over the world. If it was not for the COVID-19 this year, of course, we were in Las Vegas also this year. Last year we were a little bit unknown in the US market, but thanks to you, thanks to Winncom, this year we started to getting traction in the market as a brand in 9-dot. So our goal is to be more present in the road shows across the world. Of course, as soon as the situation will end, that hopefully I think we all hope for that. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Any question from the chat, Alessandro?
That's all. That's all. Everything's clear.
Okay. I'm asking to Winncom if they wanted to ask anything or say anything.
Something?
No, Ricardo, thank you very much again for taking the time and organizing this webinar. Thank you, Evan. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
It was very informative.
Yeah, thank you, Winncom, for supporting us, and thank you, Evan. You've been the special guest, and this webinar was not possible without you. So we really appreciate your support and your feedback. It will help us to doing better and grow with our customers.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alessandro. Bye,
Thank
all.
you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
And have a nice day or evening. It depends on which part of the world you are.
Yep.
You are. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
all. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Keep in touch. Bye.